guys, it's WritingChick here, and today is Fun Fridays. I didn't really get any requests to do anything except for one, which I'll do at the end of the video. So I just decided to talk about sports today because I know that sports is becoming very popular, especially for the pro stuff, for like football and basketball and other stuff like that. So I decided to just talk about sports because, as some of you guys don't know, I've been in sports for like most of my life when I was younger. I first started off in ballet. I was on a dance team once upon a time, even though I can't dance anymore. I was in gymnastics for a couple of years. I was in soccer for a little bit, which I sucked at. I did archery for a little bit. I wanted to be a cheerleader, but I couldn't, so I just cheered with my sister, who didn't cheer either. But I also played basketball for 6 years, which is my favorite sport of all time. I did volleyball for a couple of years. I did track for 1 year, and I'm surprised that I made it out alive because I hate running worth a crap. Like long distance running, I hated it like so much. But I did it, so I decided to talk about my sports stories, which are embarrassing and funny, and they're just I love telling these stories because they're a part of my life, and some of you guys can relate to some of them, especially when you're first starting out. So I decided to do this video so you guys can laugh and have fun with it, and also be embarrassed with me as I tell the embarrassing stories. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. The first story I'm going to start with is my first basketball game that I ever played on. See, when I was in elementary school, we didn't really have an elementary team, just a junior high team, so I got to play with my sister, who was 2 years older than me, so I got to play with her and her friends. And I joined because, of course, my sister was doing it, so I was like, you know what, if my sister can do it, I can do it. So I joined, and I really sucked at it. I'm so glad I got better over the years, but I really sucked at it. I remember I was bench warmer that year because I was in 4th grade at the time, and me and my 2 other friends who joined later on, we didn't know what we were doing, so I think we were just bench warmers that year. We didn't really learn much till later on, till like towards the end of the season. But I remember the first game I got to be in. I remember my coach, who was an amazing coach for little kids, but I felt so bad for him because we really sucked. I remember he came up to me, she's like, Amanda, you need to go in. I was like, okay. Like, I was all excited because, you know, I was like, yeah, my first game, I get to play. I didn't do anything. Seriously. The older kids got to play more, especially my sister and her friends. They got to play more. And I remember all he told me was a baseline. If you guys don't know what a baseline is on a basketball court, it's just the outer line between the basket and then from the 3-point line. And he told me just to go run up and down it. Just run up and down, like, okay. I was like, okay, I can do this. And he's just like, if you get the ball, you have to throw it back to them. And I was like, okay. But the entire time I was in that game, which was like for I think a minute, I was just running up and down the baseline like nothing. And I was like, really? I looked back at it and I was like, man, that's so dumb. You put me in just to run up and down the baseline. I don't remember anything after that, but I do remember watching one of the games. And I was sitting there on the bench, of course, being a bench warmer with me and my 2 other friends. We were just sitting there, and I remember this girl, Caitlin, she's gonna hate me, but I remember this girl, Caitlin, she picked up the ball, and she put it under her hand like this, and she put her hand out like this and just started running. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and the refs were laughing, because of course you don't really see that except for football, and it's not really football, and of course it was called traveling at the time. So it was funny. That was a funny time for me. I got better later on, and we actually did make an elementary team because I don't think elementary and junior high should go together. So yeah, that was so embarrassing. Like, every time I tell this story, they're just like, really, you did all that? And that was the first game I played, and I acted like an idiot. I'm surprised no one laughed at me, but hey. First game, you gotta do something, you gotta start somewhere, so I started at the bottom. My second story, oh gosh, I have a lot of them, was gymnastics. Of course, like I said before, I started gymnastics after ballet, after my ballet teacher, he quit at the YMCA. I was there, So me and my sister went into gymnastics, and it was really, really fun. And I became very good at it. I don't know why. I became very flexible, very fast, and I got to do a lot of flips and tricks. Super early, like better than my sister. No offense to my sister, she was good too, but it's just, I don't know, it just came more naturally to me. And I remember this girl, Alexis. She was super small. But I think she was like my age, and I don't know when I started. I think I started when I was like in third grade. I don't remember, but I started around there when I was in third grade. And I remember her always complaining about having a wedgie every time we did the vault, because for the vault is like this big gray thing. I remember it was super big and super gray, and we had to jump over it. And she had those long legs, but she was still short, and she always complained about having a wedgie. And I remember laughing so hard because, of course, we had to be serious because the coach was telling us, but it's just like, I don't need to know this girl. Like, why are you telling me you have a wedgie? But it was really fun. But, also speaking of gymnastics, that was when I sprained my wrist, and I think after that I quit. I was kind of doing a flip, like I was being prepared to do a flip, and I remember I was going down the mat, and I was like, okay, I got this, I'm gonna flip, I'm gonna do it. And I just remember my right hand sliding, and I don't know what happened, but I felt this sharp pain, and I couldn't move it, and I thought I broke it, because at that time, my mom broke her wrist from school injuries. She worked at the same school as I did, and she got her hand stuck in a wheel, and she tore some ligaments from her pinky down to her wrist. That was a bad story. But during that time, she also broke her wrist, and I was just like, oh no, I broke my wrist too, how are we gonna afford this? And I started crying, and it really hurt, but it just turned out I sprained my wrist, and I couldn't move it for like, I think I had to wear like this type of cast thing for a couple months, because it really hurt. And plus, I was also doing basketball, so that didn't help. So that was, and then after that I quit. I couldn't do it anymore. My wrist was never the same, and my sister was getting too old for the teacher, and she wasn't really improving, so we just decided to quit. And I really miss gymnastics. That was like one of my favorite sports to do when I was little. I became really flexible really fast, and I was so close to like going into the dance classes, but after that injury I couldn't do it anymore. So that's my sad tale of quitting gymnastics and being injured. My third story is volleyball. I really enjoyed volleyball because most of my friends were in it during junior high, and I helped them out. I was like the assistant, not like the assistant coach, but I was like the assistant. I helped them. I went to games and stuff like that. And so I decided to join my freshman year of high school, and I really loved it. And the first trip that we did was we went to Midland, Texas. So we went there, and we had to play against this school. And before that night, me and my roommates, me and two other girls who were my good friends then, excuse me, we were in a room, and then all of a sudden we hear someone fall down the stairs, because we were on the first floor, and we were like right close to the stairs, like we were diagonal from it, and we heard it. And I was like, hey, what was that? So we look outside, and we see this woman on the stairs, and we're like, oh my gosh, is she okay? So we go running over there, and she's puking. Like, she's unconscious, and she's puking, and she was super drunk. She was mumbling. I don't remember what she was mumbling, but it was so gross. And I remember I don't even know what time it was, because our clock wasn't working, our TV wasn't working, we didn't have our phones, we had to turn in our phones. So I didn't know what time it was, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to the front desk. So I go over to the front desk, and I'm like, hey, there's a woman on the staircase. I think she's drunk, and she passed out, and I think she's hurt. And they're just like, okay, we'll get to it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So me and my roommates go back to the room, and we're sitting there. An hour goes, it feels like an hour. I don't know, we were watching some news channel at that time, and we're like, it's getting pretty late, like, where are they? And I look out the window, and the woman just gets up, and she looks around, like, I wonder what happened, and then she just walks off, and I was like, where is she going? Like, she goes out into the pool area, and I'm like, crap, she's gonna get drunk again, feel dizzy, and like fall into the pool. No, but she turned out perfectly fine, and then the hotel people finally come, and they're like running, and they're like, where is she? And I open up the door, I'm like, she went out that way, and I don't know what happened to her. I think she turned out okay, but the last time I checked, she was okay. Like, the hotel people came up to me before we left. Yeah, she's okay. But the next day, me and my roommates sleep through our alarm. We don't eat breakfast, we don't get ready until my coach calls the room. And my sleepy roommate, she was just like, hello? Wait, hold on. And she's like, Amanda, I'm too tired. You have to answer. And I'm like, okay. So I wake up super quick. And I'm like, hello? And she's like, oh, are you guys ready? We're about to leave in like 2 minutes. And I'm like, no, we're not ready. Yeah, hold on. So I'm like, we'll be there. So I click. I'm like, guys, we seriously have to go. The game is about to start. Like, they want us to leave right now. We're like, oh my gosh. So we're like freaking out. We're putting on our clothes. We're exhausted because we had to keep, like, I had to make sure the woman was okay. My roommates are just like, we're not sleeping until you're sleeping. So that was not a very fun game because we lost. And I was just super, super cranky. And that was not a fun game to play because no matter what I did, people were yelling and screaming at me. And I was like, dude, I'm really tired. If I miss the ball, it's because my reaction time is not that great. So that was interesting. It was very funny to experience, but I was like, dang it, why do I have to be so kind and make sure that drunken woman was okay? But at least I made sure she was okay. That was like one of my funniest memories during that trip, besides me getting cranky. I think I'm on my fourth story now. My fourth story was actually from track. Oh my gosh. I joined track because my basketball coach, he also was the coach from track, and he just like, oh, you need to do it. And I was like, fine, I'll do it. Like, I was like giving it. I was like, okay, whatever. And if you guys don't know about some of these track things, I'm so sorry that I'm bringing this up, but they have like this little bungee thing where you wrap it around your wrist, your waist, not your wrist, your waist, and then they have like this string, like a bungee string, going to another person who also has that waist thing. And what they do is they run as fast as they can, and you have to keep up with them. The thing is to keep your form in track. But the first time I did it, I was like, okay, like me and this girl were just like, okay, we got this. So we ran super slow because we were like, we don't know what we're doing. So we were doing okay at first, and then I got paired up with this really, really big guy who was from my sister's class. And the thing I remember is that he was running and he was gonna pull me. And I was like, okay, I got this. Then my coach came up to me, he's just like, pick up your legs, homegirl. And I'm like, okay, I got this. Next thing I knew, it was black. And I didn't hear anybody at first, but apparently they were screaming, stop! And he was like, he kept running, and he's like pulling me across the field, and then I look up, like I forced my body to go around, I look up, and I see the sky, and I was like, how did I get here? And then I look up, and everybody's just like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And I was like, ow? Like, I questioned, because I was like, am I hurt? And then the guy's just like, oh my gosh, I didn't know, I just kept running, they told me to keep running. And I'm like, I think they told me to stop. And then I get up, and I'm like, okay, I'm fine, I'll brush it off, you know? I just have grass stains everywhere, I'll be fine. And then, as I'm walking, this sharp pain in my left hip hurt so bad. And I was like, oh my gosh, what happened to me? And I was like, coach, I seriously need to go off there and just take a breather. And he's just like, yeah, okay, you got jacked, you're good to go. I'm like, okay. So I walk over, and I was like, oh, my hip is hurting me. And I lift up my shirt, and like half of my skin is ripped off. There's grass and rocks in it, and there's like this, I don't know, I think I missed like this much on my hip, and it hurts so bad. And I just remember hearing everybody, oh my gosh, and I guess I wasn't really alone. Yeah, that was not a fun pain to go through. And my coach, he cleaned it off, and then we left the practice early because I was in pain. I couldn't really do much after that. And then we go back up to my school, and they're hosting a elementary basketball tournament. And I just remember everybody's reaction. They were just like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Like, the principal came up to me. She was like, "Oh my gosh, Amanda, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine, but I couldn't walk, I couldn't put on a seatbelt, I couldn't put pants on, I couldn't even take a cold shower. That's how much pain I was in." But after that, I hated track. I was like, never again am I doing this. And I couldn't go to track practice for like a couple weeks because it really hurt. I mean, my skin like came off. Like it was gross. It was a gross time. But my favorite story that I love to tell is my 8th grade basketball team. We were playing against this school called Community of Faith, which was a private school. Was it that? No, St. Mark's. There we go, St. Mark's. We were playing against them, and my basketball coach, she got suspended because she was yelling at the ref, and they're just like, "You know what, you're suspended for a game." And she was suspended for that game, and she hated that coach so much, but she was still there in the bleachers telling us what to do, even though we had another assistant coach telling us what to do. But it was pretty funny, we could hear her. And I just remember we kept getting tied every time. Every period kept going on, every quarter, and we're just like, "Oh, okay, we got this." And I remember telling them, my assistant coach telling me, "Okay, Amanda, we're gonna do like this break, and you're gonna run down the court, and then you're gonna pass it to Alexis," which was one of my friends at the time, and also one of my teammates. And I was like, "Okay, I got this. I don't know what went through my head, but we braked, and one of the girls passed it to me, and I decided to make a three-pointer in 8th grade, and I couldn't even shoot worth heck, and I just remember everybody's just like, "No! What are you doing? I made it, though. It was amazing. I made a three-pointer, which made us not go into overtime, and I remember just standing there, and we had like 10 more seconds left, and the other team had the ball. They're just like, "Pressure them!" Of course, I was in shock because I made a three-pointer, and I was like, this the entire time. And then at the end of the game, like when the buzzer went off, all of our teammates like dogpiled on me. They're just like, "Amanda, we won because of you, we won!" And that was like the best feeling in the world, like winning a game because I made those points. It was just amazing, and I was like, "Yeah, in your face," because we didn't like the coach either. He was like spreading crap about my coach and the team and how we were cheating, and we're like, "No, we won for a reason," and we were actually undefeated that year. The only thing that we lost was one game against Emmanuel, which was not bad. We lost by 1 point, and we got third place because of it. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happened, and people say that we didn't win half the games when we did, and the bracket believed them over us. So yeah, but that was like the best game ever. We won because of me, and after that, everybody was like seeing me as like this great big hero, and I got congratulated all the time because of it, and it was just amazing. It was like the best thing ever to ever happen to me. And I'm smiling so big because I just remember seeing that coach's face, and it's just like, yeah, I won because of it. And then later on, he claimed that he wanted to have another game with us, and I was like, "Oh hell no, we're not playing another game. I made those points for a reason. If you don't like losing, then that's too bad." And I haven't heard from that coach ever since that day. But that was really awesome. That was like one of the best games that we ever had, and it was just an amazing feeling to win because I did something. Other than that, I have a lot more stories, but I can't really think of them right now. So hope you guys really enjoyed my sports stories. I haven't done sports since my freshman year of high school because I transferred schools, and the district of the public school I was in wouldn't let me play sports until I was like already a year in, and I was like, I won't do sports in this school because I was at private school my whole life, and private school, public school. Yeah, we're not this. We're this. So I decided not to play, but I really do miss that sport, and I played it last Saturday, and I was like really tired, and I was like, gosh dang it, I forgot how tired I am from this. But it is such an adrenaline rush to me. I love basketball. I loved all the sports I played, but basketball is my favorite, especially since that game, that awesome game. So yeah, those are my sports stories. If you guys want to talk to me about sports or other stuff like that, you can, except for football, rugby, golf. I don't understand those. I understand football just a little bit, but I don't like football that much. I'm ready to get the hate. But if you guys want to talk to me about volleyball, track, basketball, especially basketball, gymnastics, or any dance, if you guys want to talk about dance, you guys can. I wasn't really good at dance, but you guys can talk to me about it. So those are my sports stories. So that's my fun Fridays, talking about sports. I'm really big into sports, especially basketball, so yeah. And that's really about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this fun Fridays. Oh yeah, my requests. I forgot. I got requested by my friend Olivia, who is an amazing friend to me. She requested me to sing her a song that her and her husband like, and it's called Smile by Avril Lavigne. I suck at singing, so if you guys hate my singing, I am so sorry. I prefer doing a cappella because I think karaoke messes it up sometimes for me, so I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm not going to sing the whole song, I'm just going to sing the pre-chorus and the chorus, and then that's it. And I hope Olivia likes this, and if you guys want me to do more singing stuff, if you guys like my singing, then comment below or tweet me about it. So yeah, let's get started. I'm scared. You said, hey, what's your name? It took one look and now we're not the same. Yeah, you said, hey, and since that day you stole my heart and you're the one to blame. And that's why I smile. It's been a while since every day and everything I felt is right. And now you turn it all around, and suddenly you're all I need, the reason why I smile. I smile. So yeah. I'll see you for Wonderful Wednesdays if you guys want me to promote anything or do anything, or if you guys want me to actually do requests about stuff you want me to do, then go ahead. I hope you like my singing. If you don't, I'm so sorry. But if you like these stories, I'll probably talk about more stories because I have a lot more sports stories, but I don't want to, have 30 minutes of time on it. So yeah, hope you guys like this, and I'll see you for Wonderful Wednesdays. Bye guys.